Hey guys, it's Fry, and today I wanted to do a little bit simpler video where I just kind of yap about my OC and channel persona, Fry. Yeah, I just wanted to do something a little bit more simple, and I apologize if my voice seems a little bit fried, for lack of a better term there. I don't know if I'm getting sick or if I've just been scream singing in my car too much recently, but I just wanted to apologize for that real quick. This is my friend's new realm. It's incredibly modded, and this is just a video of me going and exploring, kind of. I was going to try and build something, but I don't think that really ended up happening, except towards the very end, which you guys probably won't even see. I'm just gonna kind of talk about Fry and the long-standing lore behind the character. I thought it would be interesting because you guys don't really know a lot about Fry unless you know me in real life. And even then, maybe you don't really stay up to date when I change the lore. I would also like to preface this video by saying there will be artistic nudity. In this video, I will be showing artistic nudity, there will be no gender, and I probably will even censor those parts even though they're smooth like a Ken doll, because I don't want YouTube to come for me. But if you are triggered by that, or if it makes you uncomfortable, please do not watch this video. Just click off. I just wanted to let you guys know before I just throw it at you. Alrighty, so I have been currently working and shaping this character for about a decade now. I originally created them when I was about 9, and I'm 19 right now, so yeah, total full decade. And Fry, believe it or not, started off as a Minecraft roleplay character. It started off as a character on this SMP that I was the owner of. It was a Bedrock SMP because I was an iPad kid, and also none of my friends owned PCs because we were 9 years old, you know? And I love Bedrock. Can I just say that? I love Bedrock, and I get that there's like major issues with some of it, and there's lots of glitching, but like, I don't know, it's just so nostalgic for me. It's cross compatible, so you don't have to have this super beefy computer that costs, a bajillion million now that AI has taken over RAM. Yeah, I mean, just you can play it on whatever, basically. Like, I play it now on my laptop, but back then I was playing on my iPad and my Xbox from time to time. And like, anybody could be playing on their own platform, whatever they prefer. And I just think that's so cool. I will say that I do prefer the gameplay of Java a lot better, but I don't know, Bedrock is for the win for me, just because it's cross-compatible and it allows me to play with all of my friends, no matter how poor or how rich they are as far as having access to certain technology. Anyway, side tangent over. Because I was the owner of this server, I wanted to explain why I had operator permissions. So, and I don't know why, because I could have just like left that out of the lore. It's not like we were recording it for YouTube or anything. We were just having fun role playing. But I was like, what if I make this god character, this deity that kind of rules over the land, and depending on what people do, I'll reward them or punish them. If they get into a war, I'll curse them with eternal thunderstorms, and if they do something nice, like try and create society, then I'll, give them elytras or food or whatever. So I built the lore over this whole notion that, oh, I'm the owner of the server, I need to do something with that. Fry is a species of humanoid called a Goldian that originates from the Aether dimension. So Goldians are made of gold. Duh. And they're typically regarded as the most powerful beings in the Aether, but they're pacifists, and they are very similar. They're culturally very similar to like the air nomads from Avatar: The Last Airbender. they really just wander around the clouds and do their own thing. They don't really talk to any of the other species. They just kind of are very secluded, and they do their own thing. They just live their lives. Goldians have a few other key traits. You'll notice that Fry has a lot of eyes. The higher the power level, much like a lot of the physical traits that I will be discussing about Goldians, the higher their mana, the more eyes they'll have. The higher the mana, the more likely they are to grow their wings on their lower backs. They have upward pointing ears. They also have very small, flat noses. Think like snakes, or like, I think my original inspiration for it was Voldemort from Harry Potter. And they have curly hair. They have very curly hair, and it's beautiful. Their heights range from 4 to 12 feet tall. And yeah. Okay, pause. Their height range is 8 feet. And that is, again, much like their appearance, dependent on how much mana they have. How much mana, I don't know how to pronounce it. Just, you know that 9-year-old me was cooking with this one, okay? Goldians reproduce asexually. So Fry doesn't necessarily have a gender, because Fry doesn't need a gender. That's why I typically refer to them as they, because they reproduce asexually, and basically just like a very long form of mitosis is how it happens. But they are pack animals, so they pick a mate for life to just chill with for basically all of eternity. They live for a really long time, and in some cases they are immortal. So yeah, they just like basically chill eternally with their pack mate. So, the questions we've all been waiting to be answered. If the Goldians have wings and curly hair, why is Fry portrayed as bald and without wings? Well, they actually weren't always that way. To start from the beginning, Fry became the leader of the Goldians and received the title of Lord Fry by venturing deep underground in search of the Lazulis, and ended up actually finding them. Fry then met Nilam, and they became mates. Nilam is a Lazuli, by the way, if you didn't catch on to that. And soon after this happy moment, the Diamonds decided to try and take advantage of the Lazulis, which is part of the reason I think that the Lazulis actually went into hiding. They came back, they're like, hey, we actually do exist, guys. And then the Diamonds were like, all right, here's equipment, here's food, we'll give you all this stuff to help you, transition back into our society here. And then the Diamonds, of course, were like, oh, now that we gave you all this stuff, you have to let us use your portals to the overworld. So they use the portals, and then they go and they find humans, and they're like, hey, we can get you into the Aether. Come check it out. It's great over here. We've got lots of resources for you. We can help you. The very controlling, manipulative behavior that the Diamonds tend to have. Humans come in. The humans are like, no. We're going to take over the Aether. So they try to take over the Aether. They build these labs to do a bunch of research, to do very unethical experiments on all the different races. They experimented on Diamonds, on Emratas, Colettes, and then they figured out how to recreate the Ironers in their own, in the overworld, which is how we get iron golems. But in the overworld, there is some adverse effects, because iron golems have this like moss, and they get these overgrown like weeds on them, and they try to protect their cities with them, but they are kind of mindless. They can't communicate like real ironers can. And then eventually they captured Nilam. They took pieces off of him, and they used those pieces to enchant their clothing. Of course, when Fry found out, they raced over to the human lab to rescue Nilam, but in turn was also captured and experimented on. The humans took Fry's wings to figure out how Goldians fly. Then they melted Fry down and built them up over and over again to test if their invincibility to combat damage was true. Because while Goldians are very physically weak, their skin is pretty tough. Like they can cut through, they can be cut, but they don't like bleed or anything, so they can just like remelt themselves with their own body heat using magic to just reform. So they're kind of immortal for the most part. But yeah, they just have a lot of magic, and most of this stuff is explained by the fact that they can use this very powerful magic to their advantage in a lot of ways. The Goldians are obviously like, what the just took our great leader. What are you doing? So then they go over to the human labs and literally nuked them. Literally nuked them with like atomic magic power. Like the lab was not there anymore. Fry survived, but there was no trace of Nilam in the rubble. So Fry then gets into a battle with a diamond who had decided, the diamonds of course decided to take the human side in this war so that, you know, they didn't get an ass kicking. And then Fry was kicked into a portal by the diamond into the overworld, and then the diamond broke the portal on the other side. After that, Fry landed in a snowy pine forest while a blizzard snowed them down. And after the blizzard passed, a human woman's dog sniffed them and dug them up from out of the snow. Then the human woman woke Fry and took them to her cabin. The woman's name was Lisa, and her dog's name is Albert, if you wanted to know. And so, a lot of times, Goldians and the other races can speak human language. So that's why they were able to communicate with each other. But Fry's real name isn't Fry. It was given to them by Lisa because you can't really translate names over. So Lisa just took it upon herself to give them a name, and she named it Fry. And then Lisa was like, yeah, of course, you can stay and live here while you figure out how to, you know, restore your portal back home and search for Nilam and all the things. Another thing that I wanted to discuss is, if Goldians don't wear clothing, why does my thumbnail and editing Fry wear this like cowboy costume? Well, so basically it's kind of like Hatsune Miku, where all versions of Fry are canon. So there is a variant of Fry where instead of staying with Lisa and like becoming this sort of cryptid in the snowy woods, they decide to venture across the overworld and end up in the Mesa and the Badlands, and end up becoming kind of a cowboy, like kind of a sheriff almost, which is a fun story that I could explain. It was actually based off of a D&D one-shot that some of my friends and I were going to have at one point. But yeah, that's why they're wearing a cowboy outfit. I didn't want to just, you know, have albeit artistic nudity because they're chibis, but I just didn't want to have to deal with that from YouTube. So I chose the cowboy Fry instead. And in another universe, Fry is a male, and he is a demon who owns a traveling circus where all the performers are also demons that entered contracts with him and are now forced to perform in a circus. And yes, he is the villain in that story. It is such a good one. If you want me to yap about that in a different video, I totally will. I actually love talking about it. It's called Fry's Fabulous Free Range Extravaganza. Such a good story. Well, guys, I think I'm going to end it here. Like I said, if you're interested in this content, if you want to know more about the lore and the different variants, I would be happy to make more videos like this. They're super simple to make. I really enjoyed making this video. And if you want me to, answer your questions about it, that would be great too. If you like the style of this video, like I said, it was super easy to make, and it's actually, I should shout out Baby Jamie 1. They do like this sort of Minecraft video and then they read Reddit stories over the top, so it's loosely based on that. I just wanted to do some sort of voiceover, but I'm talking about my OCs instead of reading what everybody has heard top posts on Reddit. If you do like this style of video, let me know. Let me know topics. I will gladly do it again because like I said, it is so easy to make. I'm just sitting here talking to my laptop. As always, remember to like and subscribe with bell notifications on so you never miss an upload. Have a great day, and I will see you all next time.